phrase "up your brave" is something that I coined a couple of years ago. And really it is about, at the moment, my mission, raising the state, and I use the word massively raising the state of resilience, health, and happiness on a global scale. And I think that's definitely something that I've been feeling for a while, but it really came to pass with the whole COVID situation. And I started doing this live stream series called Up Your Brave, which was meant to be live events, of course. And also a book. So yeah, it's interesting how we just tweak and pivot, but really my mission is just to help people. My mission since I was 15, like literally since we were friends at Camp Twingo in Huntsville, Ontario, it was to help people do and be more than they ever thought possible. I've been saying that for a long, long time. And I feel like that's still what I'm doing. The people have changed. Like I used to be into the outdoors, and then I wrote my parenting book. So I'm all about motherhood. And then I worked with women entrepreneurs. The people keep changing, but the mission, like that goes through it, is exactly the same. And I do feel like that's what I'm here to do. I'm not an expert in resilience or health or happiness, but it's something I feel really strong about. I've got lots of skills and stories to share around that, but I like to bring, awesome people who can help others do that. So I kind of help the people who help the people. People tend to live their lives in one of 4 zones. Okay. So a lot of people are living their life in the disconnected zone, where they're just going through the motions, going to work, coming home, making dinner, having a marriage, whatever. But they're just like, they're disconnected from it. The next zone is called the should zone. So that's maybe like, I should be a lawyer because my mom wants me to. So people in the should zone are really guided by kind of duty and obligation rather than empowered choices. And when you're living your life in the should zone, quite often, it leads to you putting everyone else first and not really following your own path as such. The next zone is the frustration zone, where we're actually starting to feel angst. We're feeling frustration that this is not working for me. And this is where it gets dangerous, because it starts to affect not only our relationships, our work, colleagues, and everything, but also our health and wellness, our health and well-being as well. Where we want to get to is what I call the impact zone. And in the impact zone, it's where you're literally living life on your own terms, your empowered choices, intentional actions, you're doing what you want. And so when I talk about up your brave, I say in order to get there to the impact zone, you got to up your brave. You got to not care completely what everyone else thinks. You got to dust yourself off. You've got to reconnect with what you truly want. And I think that is the key to happiness, is trying to get over there into the impact zone.
For me, success and happiness are sort of the interchangeable definition. It's the optimal integration of being. In other words, what you say, what you think, what you do, your work, your play, your family, when it's all well integrated, and it's not an easy thing to do, and nor are you ever perfectly integrated. But the more you can try to align that all behind one common purpose, one common meaning, you're on the right track. I'm really kind of interested by these 4 domains. So how does one, certainly for the first 3 at least, how does one push through each of those?
Yeah, exactly. Well, and of course we can fall back. Like we can be in the impact zone and then something will happen and all of a sudden we're back in the should zone. So, but what we want to consistently try to stay in the majority of the time is the impact zone for sure. So things like, even if in the should zone, you're in the should zone when you're literally saying words like, I should do this, I need to do that. And so even just making a subtle change and using what I call empowered languaging. So I'll be writing a text, right? I'll be like writing a text and I'll be like, I just need to, and I'll go delete, delete, delete. And I'll replace need with want. Like I just want to pick Jonah up from hip hop and then I can meet you for coffee, instead of I need to pick Jonah up, right? It's one word. 4 letters, just massive shift in energy and expectation around that. So I literally catch myself. So my tip really to get out of the zone you don't want to be in is you got to catch yourself in those micro moments, even if it's mid-text or mid-sentence. Just say it again. And sometimes I'll say to my clients, and even sometimes to my friends, when they're like, oh, I really need to, and they'll roll their eyes, they'll do this, oh, in the body language, I really need to do this. And I go, need or want? And they're like, it makes you think about it. Or some people say, oh, I really need to do this. I say, how about I'm ready? Like, I really need to launch my website. Like, how about I'm ready to launch my website? Well, maybe they're not ready, but changing the word out can make, that's one easy step to help you shift into the next zone. I talk a lot about what I call the 3 H's. So your head, your heart, and your hustle.
Mm.
And whether you're in business or not, it's still relevant. So the head is the mindset piece. It's kind of, and a lot of that is, I say, what are you feeding yourself? Like literally, what are you consuming? Like, what are you reading? What are you scrolling? What are you watching on the news? You know, during COVID, some people watch the news every night religiously. Well, no wonder you're scared, and no wonder you're freaking out. So
Yeah.
part of it is, what are you feeding yourself? And that's mindset, but that's also food and who are you hanging out with? What are you feeding yourself in terms of other people's negative thoughts and energy and personalities and things like that? So that's the H for the head. The next one is heart. And so one of my favorite sayings I say all the time is, say what you want. So in terms of getting to the impact zone, a lot of the time I feel like it's because people aren't saying what they want. And as a result, they're not doing what they want. They're doing what they said they would do, or what they think they should do, or what they've always done. And so the H part, and you know, I always touch my heart here, is like really connecting to what is it that I actually want. And like, whether it's your business and you feel like you've lost your mojo, well, it's like, go back to the why, you know, go back to why you're doing it, the impact you want to have, the people you love working with. And if you're not in, I use a lot of business examples because that's my domain, but if you're not in business, it can even just be in life. Like, what are you excited about? What do you love doing? You might be like, oh my God, I love, like me, I love singing in the kitchen. I love singing, but it's like, if you notice you're not doing the things that bring you joy, like how can you change your habits, change your life and your schedule to do more of what you love doing? It sounds simple. And then the third one, of course, is hustle, because I'm very much into action. So it's like, you can have 1,000 plans, you can have a calendar on the wall with tons of sticky notes, but like, if you don't actually do anything and take empowered action and make intentional choices, then you're going to be stuck in one of those three zones.
How do people reach you, find you, and what are the services that you provide?
Yeah, sure. So I've got my website, nataliecutlerwelsh.com, which is a little bit hard to spell. No hyphen. And I'm just about to launch, so it'll hopefully be up soon, upyourbrave.com as well. And so I have a video series, which you feature in one of my episodes, of course, that people can check out. So a whole ton of free content, which is inspirational and educational. And then in terms of working with me, you know, I have this thing called the Amplify membership. So that's where it's basically speakers or business owners who want to use their voice. So it's all about the voice to be seen and heard on a bigger level, whether it be on the stage, you know, or in person, presenting online, or in the media. So I'm kind of a confidence and visibility mentor. I call myself the Up Your Brave mentor, to help people up your brave in various aspects of their life. So that's one thing. I do a little teeny weeny bit of one-on-one mentoring. And then I actually have a doTERRA team, which is the wellness side of my business. So it's kind of amplify your wellness. And that's really because I had all these overwhelmed moms who were totally exhausted, completely living in the should zone. And that had all these overworked entrepreneurs that were living in the frustration zone because they were working so hard, not making the income they wanted or having the impact they wanted as well. So I can kind of help women. I have a team of 4,000 now, so I can help, it is predominantly women, running their doTERRA business, or usually adding doTERRA to their existing offering of whatever they might be doing, if they're a life coach or a yoga teacher or a speaker or whatever, and just getting that residual income. Because, you know, especially post-COVID, we all know having multiple revenue streams is a super smart strategy.
Natalie, thanks so much for coming on the show. It's really great to have you.
Thank you so much for having me. And my little phrase that I like to say, I'll share with you guys just to finish with, is remember, whatever you do, to up your brave. So up your brave, say what you want, and make it happen.